When someone has experienced a mild TBI, more specifically when we're dealing with chronic mild traumatic brain injuries and traumatic brain injuries that have been compounded over many years, we can sometimes see difficulty with memory, poor attention, difficulty with new learning, poor carryover of skills. We can see difficulty with emotional regulation. There's a whole host of cognitive issues that can appear, and it is uniquely dependent on the individual.
You have to learn how to do everything differently. I cannot count anymore. I can get lost in a shoebox.
I have balance issues because of my traumatic brain injury. Since my first traumatic brain injury in 2004, I have not been able to turn onto my toes.
Like I have speech problems a lot, and the more active and athletic I am, in those scenarios, my speech problems, they're minimized.
When thinking about accommodations for instructing athletes who have had a mild TBI, chronic mild TBIs, is chunking the material, so really breaking down the tasks into small components.
It's very hard to grasp big concepts and big ideas, so it's a lot easier to break it down into simple concepts.
Do you know that you have to work that extra little bit harder to comprehend the task or to be able to follow the complete instructions?
So when I'm instructing athletes with TBIs, the biggest thing is no two students are really going to present the same way, whether it's their neurological or motor response.
I think one of the most important things in instructing an athlete with traumatic brain injury is patience. We need to understand that it's crucial for us to build rapport.
Another thing to think about is how do they learn best, right? Ask questions. What do they need from you?
They may understand what I'm talking about, but they may understand a portion of it. Particularly with traumatic brain injury, we're dealing with comprehension where, oh, I used to do that. So cognitively, they may not understand it, but body movement-wise, they may.
I want the coaches and instructors to know that they need to be patient and enable the athlete to process it in their own way.
I find the students that have TBIs are really stubborn to want to take breaks. So building them in without having them realize we are taking a break is really key.
So comprehension checks with athletes is incredibly important because you want to make sure that they actually understand the information. They are going to compensate, or they're going to just be like, yep, I got it, I'm solid. And then maybe not have that learning that we would expect. So one thing you can do is use something called a teach-back method. So you have them verbalize the skill and then go do the skill. Another option is to have them give themselves the feedback on their performance.
One of the most crucial things that we can do to screw up a lesson is to assume understanding, or even have say, does that make sense to you? People don't want to say no.
A comprehension check is not only to have the student know what you were trying to instruct and that they understand the skill, but that they can actually do it. And especially when we're working with TBIs, they might be able to understand it, but it might not translate through our body movement the same. And if you keep asking someone over and over, do you understand this? That can get a little frustrating. So thinking of other ways without directly asking gets really creative, but really helps with some of that frustration.
Being in a large event, knowing that there's going to be lots of people, there's going to be a lot of information being thrown at you, it mentally can become very taxing.
I don't have the visual memory, so I can't get from one place to another, and I can't read something, so I need someone to help me with that.
There are a lot of people here, so my anxiety can get really high when I'm here.
For me, my emotions kick in, and it's telling me not to participate because it's scary and I might get hurt.
It's so profound what we get to do, that individuals trust us to let them go out in a mountain environment, to give them the opportunity to share that with them. That's precious.
It's like the best medicine that I could get.
I have been on to turn on my toes every single day this week because of my instructor.
Skiing is freeing, and ski racing gives me 2 minutes to where I'm not thinking about anything except just freedom.
And then ultimately, thriving and being better than you once were.